All right, guys, thank you for joining me today. Let's see how we're going to. All right, there it is. All right, so let's get right into it. So, today, guys, we're talking about migrants getting it all. Apparently, they are being handed everything. Everything. I mean, I've never seen anything like what they're getting handled. Dan Phillips, Big John, thank you for 5x5. Bush Pig, Chair, Freedom, Adriana, Joseph, Paul, Beef and Chicken, WTC, Leona, Groundhog, thank you for the 5x5. Get Grimes, thank you for the 5x Whiskey. Eli, thank you for the 5x Roast and Polo, whatever. Pollo, sorry. Thank you for that. Comet Moon, Water Tiger, thank you for the 5x5. Miguel, Mary, PNW, Child of God. Mamacita, Sojourner, thank you for the 5x5. Sean, Ozark Negro, thank you for the 5x5. And Ozark Prepper, thank you for the 5x5. Rick, thank you for sharing that link, whatever that link is. I have no clue what that link is. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, looking for what in the fuck is going on with the computer? Holy shit. All right. So, guys, migrants are being handed everything as they come here. In fact, when I did the research for this video, I didn't know that this article existed. But of course, I found it, and it says, "What the heck is going on? Illegal immigrants detail everything he's getting for free in New York City. Folks are seething over a new report confirming that criminal aliens in New York City are receiving virtually everything they want and need for absolutely free." Now, we saw a lot of that last year when they were getting formula, money, like you name it, Metro cards, the whole 9 yards, right? The report comes courtesy of Nick Shirley, a documentary who recently recorded himself asking one of the New York City criminal aliens about the freebies they were receiving. In New York City, migrants already receiving free rent, free food, free lawyers, free Medicare, free medication, free money, and free flights. And yes, they are receiving flights, train tickets, and bus tickets to get to other places in the country if they have a support system in that state or wherever they're going to go. So they're actually flying these people to where they want to go if they don't like it here. Not a lot of that's going on, but enough that it is. The back and forth exchange beginning with Shirley asking the criminal alien how it's been staying at the Watson Hotel and whether he had to pay for anything while there. 2 months. No, we don't pay. It's totally free. It is a help that the state gives us, the criminal alien replies. Shirley then asks a series of questions about specific services that criminal aliens receive. I like that this guy keeps calling them criminal aliens. Fucking awesome. 2 months. No, sorry. The criminal alien reveals that he receives good service, including 3 meals a day, lunch, breakfast, and dinner, and everything. Dare do you also receive insurance for medication? Shirley asks. Yes, they are in charge of doing all of that. In fact, they process Medicaid for them. Holy shit. That's what the criminal alien says, as he keeps calling him that. The man goes in to reveal he also received help with asylum process. He says, do they process and apply the asylum for you? He says, yes, it's free. The lawyer is free also. The Red Cross links up with them and provides help for free as well. Holy shit. They're getting a lot of free shit. Yo, I think I'm going to have to fucking adopt an accent and just start roaming the cities, Quiero Taco Bell and shit like that to see if I can get, like the free shit that you get. Yo, a lawyer? This article is just going to piss me off. But anyway, Shirley then noticed the man's bag and asked him where exactly he was headed. Well, now we're heading towards, in fact, we asked for the tickets and they're giving us free tickets to Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona to be exact. Motherfuckers. I want to go to Phoenix, Arizona. Not really Phoenix, but flying to Phoenix to go to Sedona. Yo, this is insanity, yo. A free ticket just because. And they gave you that for free, the documentary press. Yes, it's free. The flight is completely free. We're leaving because here in New York, as we know, it is collapsing. It has collapsed. No shit. The migrant is telling him this, or the illegal immigrant's telling him this. They're inside the hotel. Did they coordinate all of this? He says, yes, they coordinated all of this, concluding the interview. The exchange has since gone viral, triggering massive backlash. The handouts have also been abundant that even Democrats are complaining. Now they're fucking finally complaining, these fucking morons. The endless handouts to the entire world are a slap in the face to every citizen who has contributed to and sacrificed for this country. New York City Councilman Robert Holden has said, who's a Democrat. His remarks came amid reports that the state's Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance has quietly modified its Safe Net Assistance program so as to make criminal aliens eligible for it. Effective immediately, OTDA recognizes non-citizens. Notice that new term they're using now? Not only can you not call them illegal immigrants, you have to call them migrants or non-citizens is the new term that they're using now for them. Non-citizens. How about illegal alien? How about illegal immigrant? Let's just leave it as such. But now calling them migrants is starting to feel offensive. I'm pretty sure that's why they're going in the direction of non-citizen. Anyway, where the hell was I? Effective immediately. All right, so not a citizen in any following category. Sorry. Effective immediately, OTDA recognizes non-citizens in any of the following categories as per call for the purpose of SNA. Now, per call is PRUCOL. It's an acronym. For the purpose of CNA eligibility. If otherwise eligible, individuals presenting immigration documentation evidencing any of the categories below can receive SNA. I don't know what the fuck SNA is. They didn't even say what that was. Oh, SNA, Safety Net Assistance. Safety Net Assistance, sorry. So, per call is short for permanently residing under color of law. That's a mouthful, according to the New York government. It was created by the court and is used for public benefits eligibility, including Medicaid. The only potential good news for the ODTA claim only 10% of the state's current criminal illegal alien population was eligible. This guy, whoever writes this is awesome. Anyway, basically, guys, these guys are getting everything. They're getting everything for free. Fuck us, right in the ear. So now, I found this article to be very interesting. Let's see where I'm going to go with this. Non-citizen. All right. Because the important thing I wanted to talk about earlier, we're going to talk about that right after this. This is screaming. This is screaming bad. Though some of you might like it and or agree with this is screaming red flaggy to me. But anyway, ankle monitor and curfew inside Biden's new tracking system for migrant families or illegal immigrants. The goal of the program is to keep people from skipping out of their asylum hearing, joining the millions of undocumented illegal immigrant people who stay in the country indefinitely. On a recent evening in California, a woman named Sandra was at a birthday party with her 15-year-old son, when she glanced at the clock. She started to panic because it was after 10 o'clock. She had less than an hour to get home in time for the 11 p.m. curfew set by the United States Immigration Authorities, part of a nearly year-old tracking system for migrant families who hope to be granted asylum in the United States. She mentioned to her son that they had to leave and hustled him out of the door and into the car. Into what fucking car? Why does a migrant have a car? Whatever. She made it home by 11:58. Just on time, lady. The bulky GPS monitor on her right ankle pinging out her location to the authorities keeping track. Her heart, which had been slamming into her chest, this guy's being fucking a little dramatic now. The author is being dramatic. Her heart slamming into her chest. What are you writing, a fucking conspiracy novel? Who says that in an article that you're writing about people? Her heart was slamming into the chest as she started perspiring from her forehead and wiping it with a towel that said La Viva Las Vegas or whatever the fuck it said. I don't understand. Forget it. I'm not going to go there. Sandra, 45 years old, and her son, Justin, who crossed the border in December were fleeing from Colombia, are part of a nearly year-old Biden administration program that seeks to quickly process and potentially deport many of the migrant families who have been arriving in the United States in record-breaking number. Now, this seems like a voluntary thing alone. So it looks like if they want to seek asylum in this country, they have to get an ankle monitor bracelet on their ankle. That was actually double stupid. But anyway, so they have to get an ankle monitor and be monitored. Now, yes, one side of me agrees with that because they're monitoring these people and they're not disappearing into the wind. But the other side is, how many of us will they start doing that to just because they want to monitor us? Bad enough they're already doing it to our phones. Now they're going to add ankle monitor bracelets to this? Yes, I gotta get in touch with Ghost Prepper. He sent me a bunch of shirts, but they were like out of control with some of the saying on it. I want to wear a couple of them and see if hopefully I don't get banned. But some of them were out of control. But I'm definitely gonna hit him up for getting shirts done, because I think he could probably offer me a better price than the people I'm using. But I'm trying to market this a little better, because the better you market it, the more the word spreads, right? The more the message gets out. So it's far beyond making money. You want to get this out there, but you got to brand yourself in such a way that it gets out there. So I got to start looking at, and I'm trying to keep the money within our community, if that makes sense, right? So if I'm going to get T-shirts made, I'd rather keep it with Ghost Prepper than go with some fucking corporate company. Trying to keep everything we do, guys, within the prepper community. It's the only way we're going to survive, make money, and build communities, is keeping it within the community itself, right? Anyway, let's get on with this article. If the families fail their asylum screening, they can be deported within weeks. The asylum process usually takes about a year, and most claims are ultimately rejected. So they are deporting people, at least according to this article. But keep in mind, this is a New York Times article. So, Family Expedited Removal Management Program, wow, they got a lot of acronyms for this shit, has tracked more than 19,000 people since May, according to the data from the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement that was obtained by the New York Times. More than 1,500 of them have been deported, and 1,500 people have been deported. Out of the, 300,000 a year, 1,500 have been deported. What a dick. And around 1,000 have been absconded by prying off their ankle monitors. No shit. And then disappear into the fucking world. All right. And the rest have passed their initial screening and still have cases underway. Although the program has been used in only a fraction of the claims, some U.S. officials see it as a test case for a faster way to deal with families seeking refuge in the United States, where laws require the government to consider asylum claims from anyone who makes it onto U.S. soil. They hope the program can provide an alternative to usual options for handling migrant families or illegal immigrants. Detaining them in a costly ICE facility, which President Biden has criticized, or releasing them with court dates years in the future with no consistent way of tracking them. I guess there's an upside to that. I don't like it. I don't like this tracking shit. I don't like tracking people. That's my thing. But whatever. Let's see. So anyway, skip. This is what I wanted to talk about. So the article is just goes on into the program and how the program is quickly deporting these people. But how quickly are you deporting people when a process takes a year? That's one. How are you quickly deporting people if you only deported 1,500 out of the 300,000 that you flew here, but then you have tens of thousands a month or a week coming through the border gates? So you got 1 million plus a year coming here. You got 300,000 that you're flying, but you're only deporting 1,500 back a year. The math ain't working out there. But anyway, with that being said, guys, I told you that Washington, D.C. shot down a case, a judge shot down a case where they were trying to fight against having non-citizens, as they're calling them, vote in local elections in Washington, D.C. New York City, either today or Friday, New York City Council asked states' highest courts to allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. Now, this is in New York City. You're going to start seeing this in other liberal cities as well. So do not be shocked if you see this shit fucking all over the country. New York City Council asked the state's highest court to strike down a pair of rulings in a move that would pave the way for non-citizen migrants or illegal immigrants to vote in city elections. This is so that these hammerheads, Democrats, can always secure their spot within the political realm in cities or local elections, rather. The controversial election change passed by the City Council late 2021 and signed into law by then Mayor Bill de Blasio, would have allowed 800,000 non-citizens with green cards to vote, but was struck down as unconstitutional last month by the appeals court. Appellate court. My bad. Today's filing to appeal the second department's recent decision seeks a determination from the state's highest court that the law is consistent with the state constitution, which it isn't. To vote in any election, you have to be a citizen of the United States. And this is in every state and city constitution. Every state and city constitution, you have to be a United States citizen to vote. Period. It is non-negotiable. All right. The council has argued that non-citizens here legally should be able to vote since they pay taxes and make contributions to their communities. That is one argument that I can understand. The case will now head to New York's Court of Appeals, which will probably be shot down yet again, because a lot of Democrats, believe it or not, are against this. In plain English, New York State Constitution says only citizens have the rights to vote in these elections, says Staten Island President Vito Fossella. The City Council has no authority to do what they didn't. The City Council has no authorities to do what they didn't. All right. We're going to be ready to do what we can, adding, we are not surprised. Eric Adams, co-defendant in previous court battles, did not join the challenge Monday. His Honor, I hate when they call him that, has been quiet as of late about the law known as Local Law 11, which was sponsored by former Councilman Yanis Rodriguez, a Democrat here in Washington Heights. Fuck these Washington Heights Democrats. Fucking hammerheads. By the way, talking about Democrats, Washington Heights hammerheads, I was doing my weekly march, ruck, if you will, and by the way, I did it a lot faster. I did a mile in 18 and a half minutes. When I started it out with the 50-pound pack, I did a mile in about 20 minutes, so I knocked off 2 minutes. That's just bragging shit. But anyway, as I'm walking up a hill, I look over to my left, and there's a group of people protesting. I don't know what they were protesting, but they were protesting. With that, they're waving a flag or flags, and it was a double-sided flag, Palestinian and Cuban flag, and they're waving it in the air. And I'm like, these idiots know what the fuck they're waving or what they're even doing? Whatever. Nonetheless, guys, people are waving the Cuban flag more in New York City. They want communism. So why don't you move back to Cuba and why don't you move to Palestine? The people who come to this country arguing about another country's plight are fucking assholes. Every last one. I will never, ever protest another country's plight. I do not fucking care. I don't care what happens in Africa. I don't care what happens in China. I couldn't care less what happens in Israel or Ukraine. I do not fucking care. I only care what happens here. I don't care if they're fucking shoveling kids into an endless pit in the middle of somebody's country. I don't fucking care. Because what can be done about those problems is not our problem. It is for that country to handle that problem. Yes, should we start GoFundMes and shit like that? No. Let that country deal with their own problem. We cannot, guys, sit here and talk about we need the United States to butt out of people's business, but as soon as they start doing some shit and it involves kids, now all of a sudden we have a bleeding heart and we want to help. It don't go both ways. It's one way or the other. Either we're all in when we start fucking caring and doing the right thing, or we step back and let the fucking mayhem ensue. I don't give a shit. It's never our fucking problem. And they always like to use kids, and a lot of those kids. Like, when you see the little poor African kid, look at Mobutu. And Mobutu's laying there all like fucking, starving and shit, all skinnied out. You could feed him for a nickel a day. No, I don't want to feed him for a nickel a day. Have his fucking country get it together and feed him. That is not my fucking problem. Do I feel bad for these kids? Absolutely. I absolutely do. But you can't sit there and feed the kids but not fix the problem. That's the other problem. You cannot, if we're going to feed Mobutu, we need to fix the problem that's causing Mobutu to be in that problem. You can't have it one way or the other. You can't have it, you can't have it both ways. You can't help them but not fix the problem. And fixing the problem, guys, unfortunately, is going all the fuck in and taking out those warlords that are there, creating this problem. But we don't do that. We look the other way. We're like, it's not our problem, but we can still feed these kids. No, you can't have it both ways. Either go in there and fix the fucking problem so that it doesn't happen again, or step back away from it completely. But whatever. That was my rant about that bullshit. Anyway, guys, what it's looking like here is that they want non-citizens to vote. The problem with it is that with the fake IDs, you're not going to know who's a non-citizen and who's not. There is no identification process for voting. Zero. So these people can walk into anybody. No, Mobutu's not new. I've been using Mobutu for a while. But anyway, not the point. You can walk into any election area and just vote. And you could be Juan from Nicaragua and they won't know. Meanwhile, you're really Paul from fucking Wisconsin. They don't know. They don't check. They never fucking check. So, again, guys, this is just a problem. And with the fake IDs and all of that shit going on, they're doing whatever they can to steal certain elections. Now, this is for local elections. This is not for national, obviously. But this is the foot in the door. And people don't realize that. Everybody's like, well, it's just local elections, man. It's just a vote for, politicians and councilmen and mayors. Yes. And then if you have enough states do it, then they start push for national elections. The main show. Then what? Right? So it starts somewhere, guys. It starts with local and then it works its way up. It always fucking does. And having this is a problem because California's doing it. We're doing it, and I'm so sure it's like Detroit or maybe it's like Chicago, some shit like. It's one of those places that are also doing it as well. If not, probably both of them are doing this as well. It starts small, guys, and it ends up big. It doesn't. Everybody thinks that it's just for local elections. It always stems from that, and it goes into something else. Always, it's like without a doubt. But anyway, I'm going to go off the air now. Hopefully you guys, got a kick or enjoyed some of this information. I don't know what I'm going to do. I actually have a couple of hours to do nothing, and then I'm going to go to bed. Then I'm going to wake up and go to work tomorrow. All right, guys. Anyway, other than that, thank you for joining me. I will have a doubleheader Thursday night, and I might be able to squeeze in a Wednesday midweek report after I get out of work. So it'll probably be like 6, 7 o'clock. And it'll only be a half hour, 20 minutes, whatever it is. So it'll be fairly short. All right, guys? But anyway, once again, have a good night. Thank you for following me. Thank you for dealing with my bullshit. And I will see a lot of you guys later this week.